And Mark Horton meets the Wiltshire man on a buccaneering quest to find sunken treasure. This is Inside Out West. I love a good tale of lost treasure, and our final film tonight is about a man from Wiltshire who spent most of his life on a romantic quest for the wreck of a Spanish galleon said to be laden with silver dollars. Maritime archaeologist Mark Horton examines the evidence.
Shelving salesman Colin Godwin has spent a personal fortune chasing his dream of finding tons of silver dollars off the coast of Cornwall. It's cost him £40,000 so far, and today he has again hired professional divers for the latest of dozens of trips in search of the booty he believes is lying off the Lizard Peninsula.
There's something down there, there's dollars down there, there's got to be. Got down to bedrock! Yeah, good.
So has Colin any prospect of finding sunken treasure, or is it all a wild goose chase?
All we know is that local legend has it that about 1770 a Spanish ship was wrecked here, carrying a huge amount of treasure, said to be 15 to 20 tons of gold and silver, a huge amount of money. But we have no name for the ship. We've never been able to establish a name or a positive date or any corroborating evidence.
It's an intriguing story, so I've come to Chippenham to meet the man who has invested so much time and money in this quest.
I think this could be it.
And to take a look at what he has found so far.
Hello, Colin.
Come on in.
Fantastic. And I can see it's absolutely in a critical point, because if you're coming into the western approaches,
southwesterly,
this is the graveyard of ships.
Absolutely,
isn't it?
yeah.
Like all good treasure hunts, Colin has spent many an hour plotting all his information on a map, trying to pinpoint the exact spot where he thinks the wreck lies.
But Colin, whatever got you started on this quest?
Well, about 25 years ago, I went to Gulmallow in Cornwall with my wife and 2 young children, and all of a sudden I had this eerie feeling I'd been here before. And of course I've never been to Cornwall in my life ever. And I had this feeling that I'll be back again, for what reason I don't know. So about 3 or 4 months later I saw a film about diving, about Dollar Cove. I thought, I've got to go back there, let's do it, and do it.
Did you realise why it was called Dollar Cove?
Well, yeah, because dollar's been found on the shoreline here. Mm-hmm. So very interesting. I thought, pack up football, do some diving.
So Colin trained as a diver, as the prospect of finding some dollars lured him back there time and time again.
But surely this is just a complete obsession.
Absolutely.
But is there really a shipwreck down there?
Yes, there is. We prove that in the church records, document records in the county council. It says she went ashore, Spanish galleon went ashore, carrying 2.5 tons of silver dollars.
Oh, that's a bit more convincing.
I found these two.
Right.
3 or 4 years back.
Right. And I think we should explain that these are Spanish dollars, pieces of 8. They're worth 8 reals, and these were the absolute standard currency of the Atlantic world in the 17th and 18th century. So what dates are these?
1774 and 1777.
Well, that fits in okay. It would be no good if the dates were after 1787, the date Colin found in the parish register for the wreck. But since that time, there have been numerous attempts by Cornish miners and other treasure seekers to salvage the dollars. Another day, but not another dollar. Often the dives are thwarted by adverse sea conditions.
Alright, let it go. This is typical of Cornish weather. 1 minute it's flattish, and then all of a sudden, deep in the Atlantic, you get these 2 metre, 3 metre high waves.
Any find, though, gives Colin a sense of satisfaction.
Touch something, maybe 200 or 300 years old. The only person to touch that 200 or 300 years ago was maybe a cabin boy or a sailor or someone. So it's fascinating to be the first one to hold that, and that's like shaking hands with history.
Is it really the history that's motivating you?
It's a treasure.
It's the treasure?
It's a treasure.
But surely you're just a treasure hunter.
I think treasure hunting and archaeology should work side by side.
But Colin is not exactly hand in hand with English Heritage over this. They are concerned about people like him and question whether he should be going there at all.
Our interest is to ensure that any investigation and recovery from wreck sites underwater is undertaken to archaeological standards in accordance with a seamless approach to the historic environment. But I couldn't see any evidence that it was going to be undertaken with sympathy to the archaeology.
English Heritage have sent their own boat to survey the seabed with a view to having it designated a protected wreck site. This would mean that the likes of Colin could only dive there under strict supervision. But at the moment, Colin is breaking no law. He reports all his finds to the official receiver of wreck, as he is obliged to do.
This is copper nails. This is used on timber ships in the mid-18th century.
Colin, what have we got here?
Time for me to take my first look at Colin's discoveries.
Is this the 300 artefacts, or some of them that you found?
Yeah, most of them here.
That's probably a kettle, isn't it?
It's modern, I
That
believe.
must be
that one.
modern, mustn't it? But look, we've got other stuff here. There's a nice brass pin.
That's a part of a ship's bell.
Yes, it is, isn't it? That's
Bronze.
good. I'll show you how it works. It's a little bit of the bottom flange of a bell, about this size, something like that, I would have thought. Yeah. Well, I think you found a shipwreck.
I think we have.
Oh, it's cold! It's a nice nail.
I'm not really convinced yet that he has discovered the remains of that Spanish galleon.
The trouble with this stuff is it goes on and on and on, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
And so you could say, well, it's 17th, 18th, 19th, it could even be 20th century.
But then,
Oh, isn't that lovely? Let's have a think. There, well, that's that. God, you can smell it, can't you? This is a genuine ship's timber. I wonder what it's made of. Is it oak?
I think it's oak,
It
yeah.
looks like oak, doesn't it? And has it got worm in it?
Yeah, it's got gribble worm and also a Toledo worm.
It's got some Toledo in there, hasn't it? Going down through there. Now, Toledo worm, that's really significant because that suggests the ship has been in tropical waters. It's not just a Devon or
that.
Cornish fishing vessel.
No.
and then,
But what have we got here?
We found this next to a reef,
I don't believe
close
it.
inshore.
Huge anchor, the sort of size you would
Yeah.
find for a merchantman or man of war.
Would you think that's now? Does this prove to you there's a shipwreck down there?
Well, I mean, let's have a think. It's pretty spot on. It's large enough to be from, you know, a large Spanish or English merchantman, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a bower anchor.
This is a real piece of evidence. A bow anchor, the sort of thing that you find on shipwreck sites. Because what they did was drop these over the reef to stop the ship smashing into the rocks.
the anchor was found on a reef 30 metres or so away from where Colin found his 2 silver dollars. Colin's immediate attack on the encrusted anchor is just the sort of thing that alarms English Heritage.
We would require that a conservator and a conservation consultant has previously been appointed to advise on conservation and material remains recovered from the seabed and given first aid treatment. And we will certainly, for any ferrous material, ensure and insist that that has the opportunity to be x-rayed and recorded before any concretions are removed.
I must admit that I'm beginning to become convinced that there might be a wreck down there, rather than this being a wild goose chase. However, an anchor and some ship's timbers are not really enough evidence. And to be honest, even if they were, I doubt whether there will be much left on the seabed, after so many people have been there looking for the treasure over the years. But Colin might just be lucky.
So, Colin, it's taking you 25 years to find this much. Is it going to take another 25 to find the wreck?
We should carry on and carry on and carry on until the end of the day we find treasure. So I'm lured. It's like a magnet. It just draws you to it. Incredible. Very exciting.
Well, that's just about it for this series of Inside Out West, but we will be back in January with more surprising real-life stories from close to home. In the meantime, you can watch this evening's show again on our website, of course, and until next year, thank you for watching and goodbye.